Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a nice Tuesday and are ready to get back to work in English class. So today's date, it's actually day 33 of virtual learning, if my counting is correct. And for us, we just started Ben 2 yesterday. So we are thinking about the themes in the fantasy books that we're reading. Okay, so our goal today is to notice that stories are vehicles for ideas and to see how insightful readers connect character problems to deeper meanings the author's trying to show. So yesterday we talked about dragons, right, and monsters and these fantasy creatures and beings, and we talked about what the reason for them might be. And we said that often they represent or symbolize some conflict within the character. Okay? So today we're going to try to build on those ideas and connect them to themes. So the first thing I want to do is think about some themes that are kind of universal and common in fantasy stories. So I'm going to write some down, and as I do this, you can think on your own. So first I'm going to write good versus evil. Right, we see this. The one that jumps out to me and is, Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. It's clear good versus evil idea going on there. Another one could be a hero's quest for knowledge or power. For knowledge or power. And for this one, I think of like myths and legends and, a lot of Disney movies are like this, where the hero goes on some kind of journey, and along the way, they face some fantastic creatures or challenges. Another one might be tradition versus change. Okay, or man versus himself. And this one's similar to the hero's quest. And when I say man here, I'm referring to human. So the main character versus himself or herself. And also coming of age and love. Love is another theme that comes up in fantasy as well. So when we think of these, the connection we need to make is that in Star Wars, for example, or we'll say Lord of the Rings, maybe you're more familiar with that. In Lord of the Rings, and even in Harry Potter as well, it's clear there's a good versus evil dilemma. Okay, and Harry represents what's good, Voldemort is evil. So the author uses that story to teach us how good overcomes evil and how doing good things makes the world a better place. Right? So the wizards and creatures in there and the magic, right? It's a way to convey that message, right? It's a genre because it's a certain way that authors convey that message. Okay, using fantasy ideas. So when I thought about our book, and I got it right here, The Thief of Always, and we're about 8 chapters in, and I had some trouble trying to connect these universal themes to our story because we're not deep into the book yet, and I'm not really sure when I ask myself, what what does the house represent, and who is Mr. Hood? What does he represent? But what I remember from the last chapter we read is that after falling into the lake, Harvey really he seems to have made a decision that the house is evil, right? And he knows that there are lots of great things that happen there, and things he enjoys, things he loves, and Christmas every day. All that goes on, but he knows at the heart of it, there's some pure evil happening. Okay, so when I think of that, and I try to connect it to a universal theme, okay, one of the things I think about is what's on the cover. And here it says a fable. A fable. Okay. And when I think of other fables I know, I recognize that there's always a lesson in a fable. And here you might know this story. This is The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Okay, so you know this story. It's also a fable, and it has a lesson, right? So then, with our story, I'm thinking about these universal themes and then lessons that may come through this story. And one that I'm starting to think about is an expression like this: if it's too good to be true, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Okay? So the idea is that if you can go somewhere and have Christmas every day and Halloween every day, and the kitchen table is always full of your favorite food, that's too good to be true. Right? We could say it's too good to be true. So in those cases, and what I think we'll see through the book is that it probably is. And my expectation from here on out is that this book is going to take a turn, because so far we've learned about all the great things that happen in the house. I'm expecting things to go sour quite quickly. But what I've done here, I've thought about universal themes. I've considered that authors tell us these stories to convey a deeper meaning. Okay, I've thought about what they might be. I'm also thinking about fables, and I'm coming up with some ideas about what the message or theme in The Thief of Always might be. Okay, and this is where I'm at. This is something I'll continue to grow as I get further into the book. Okay, so this is what I'd like you to work on today. You're going to be reading. You'll have your word journal open. You have your notebook open, and then at the end, again, you're going to talk to your group, and you'll be talking about possible themes that you've discovered in your stories. Okay, so good luck today, and I'll see you in conference.